Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today, I just want to talk about something that has been in the news in track and field recently. This is not drama, this is just a little bit of an update on one of the track leagues that I have talked about in the past. So I wanted to make a little video on some interesting things I thought was going on with ATHLOS, the all-women's track league. As an aside to this, I have seen the name of this league pronounced ATHLOS and ATHLOS. I can't say it both ways, but I've heard it pronounced as like a UZ sound at the end and an OZ sound at the end. I'm going to say ATHLOS, but I am unsure as to what the proper pronunciation is, because everything I have found pronouncing it comes from either third-party sources or track commentators, and I've learned not to trust the way track commentators pronounce things, okay? So I am going to say that. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Please feel free to correct me in the comments. But yeah, that's just what we're doing for this video because everyone says something different. I'm gonna say ATHLOS for the purposes of this video. We all know what I'm talking about. So, ATHLOS is trying to expand their footprint this year. Sorry, this piece of hair is like, I don't want it in the microphone. I'm sorry. So ATHLOS is expanding their format this year. They're trying to offer a second meet. The past 2 years, ATHLOS has just been kind of a one-off event that they have done in New York City. They've done some events like they did long jump preliminary rounds in Times Square, and then they do the rest in the stadium down there. It's a really cool concept. It's all women's. There's a very high prize pot, and they also do the Tiffany crowns. So if you've seen some of your favorite track stars, like pictures with the Tiffany crowns, that is from this meet. But this year they are expanding. So they're going to be doing 2 meets. They're both going to be after the World Athletics Ultimate Championships, which I think is interesting. ATHLOS is always one of those late season after the big championships things that I have been looking forward to those past few years. And I do kind of like that they're keeping that format, both because for scheduling it's less competitive and also because you can kind of act as, a comeback arc of sorts for people who didn't get their moment during those big championships. Of course, there are trade-offs, like it's in the middle of a training block for most athletes, so you might not see the longest jumps or the fastest times, but it's still a super fun event to watch. They also last year did it right after the Diamond League final. I think it was like 2 weeks after the Diamond League final. I am wondering how they're going to structure that this year. I'm not sure when the Diamond League final is this year, but it's going to be a very busy September with now 2 ATHLOS meets, plus the Diamond League final, I'm assuming, plus the World Athletics Ultimate Championships. Obviously, it's a much smaller pool of athletes who will be at the Ultimate Championships, but I still think it's interesting to note. They've also put out increased prize money this year. So they're doing a scoring system where there's like first place 10 points and then it goes down to 1 point for 6th place, kind of similar to how they score high school track meets. And then there's prize money corresponding, and then whoever gets the overall win, if they compete at both meets, whoever gets the most points across those 2 meets, they will get a $25,000 bonus. And then there's also obviously prize money for 1st through 6th place. And this is supposed to further increase earning potential for those athletes, which I think is really great. And I do love that they are giving such a high ceiling for the amount of prize money these athletes can win, because it is quite a bit higher than last year. That being said, does it scare me a little bit? Because last time we were promised really big prize pots, it didn't end super great. Yeah, it definitely concerns me a little, but I think since it's only a 2-meet event, it's definitely scaled, and they have been trying to grow this event slowly over the past couple of years. I know at one point they said they intended to make it a full-on league. I don't know where they stand on that right now, but expanding to a 2-day event is definitely the first step in making that happen. They kind of went back and forth on what they were doing for format. I am glad that they kind of just did classic scoring systems. I think that that's like the best way for viewers to kind of engage with it. And then I'm not sure about how this other part is going to work, but they're also giving winners equity in the league, question mark. That is what the Citius Mag article says. I haven't seen it really anywhere else other than this one article, which I'm looking at right now because I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm not a finance bro. I don't know anything about equity. I will say, whenever someone offers non-monetary compensation for athletes, I do immediately kind of side-eye it. But if it's in addition to monetary compensation, honestly, what's the harm? But I don't really understand also um all of like this things with equity and giving equity for whatever. I am not a finance bro, but I definitely think it's something interesting and it could be seen as a perk, I suppose. So they're also kind of expanding in that way and trying to go in that direction. So anyways, this was a shorter video for you guys. I just wanted to recap on some of these happenings because I do think it is super interesting. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the pronunciation of ATHLOS and also the expansion of the ATHLOS League in 2026. Do you think it will be a success? I certainly hope so. And in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!